Capricorn, if you felt like something invisible has been shifting inside you since the new moon, July 16th may be the day your destiny finally changes forever. The new moon may have already passed, but its most powerful energy is only beginning to unfold. Today we'll reveal why July 16th carries a rare spiritual message for Capricorn, the hidden signs to watch for, and how this cosmic shift could completely transform your path. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share may explain everything you've been feeling lately, even the things you haven't told anyone. 1. The hidden energy still moving. After the new moon, Capricorn, most people believe that once the new moon passes, its energy fades away. But that's not how the universe works. A new moon doesn't end, it plants. And what it plants doesn't bloom overnight. It moves quietly beneath the surface, the way roots grow underground long before anything appears above the soil. That's exactly what's happening to you right now. You may have noticed it already. A strange restlessness you can't quite explain. Maybe you felt unusually tired, or unusually emotional, or unusually aware. Little things have started to bother you that never used to. Old patterns that once felt comfortable suddenly feel heavy, almost suffocating. And at the same time, you've caught yourself daydreaming about a different life, one that feels bigger, freer, truer to who you actually are. This isn't random. This is delayed manifestation. The seeds you planted, consciously or not, during the new moon are beginning to stir. And Capricorn, of all the signs, you are the one who processes change the slowest and the deepest. You don't feel things on the surface. You feel them in your bones, in your foundation, in the quiet architecture of your soul. So while other signs may have already moved on from this lunar cycle, you are only now beginning to feel its true weight. That's why you might feel emotionally different lately, without knowing exactly why. It's not a mood, it's not stress, it's not just a phase, it's preparation. Somewhere deep inside you, a part of your spirit is being reorganized, cleared, and readied for something you cannot yet see. Think of it like this. Before a house can be rebuilt, the old structure has to be quietly dismantled, piece by piece, often when no one else is watching. That's what's been happening inside you. And Capricorn, you've been doing this dismantling in silence, the way you always do, carrying the weight without complaint, without asking for help, without even fully realizing how much you've been holding. But here's what makes July 16th so different. This is the day when that invisible underground energy finally reaches the surface. This is the day the preparation starts becoming visible, in your thoughts, in your choices, in the doors that suddenly open or close around you. The universe has been working on you, and now it's ready to work through you. So if you felt like you're standing on the edge of something you can't name, you are, and it's about to become clear. 2. Why July 16th is different for Capricorn. Every so often, the universe aligns in a way that doesn't happen often. A rare energetic window that opens just after a new moon, when the seeds of intention meet the first spark of visible momentum. Astrologers and spiritual guides across generations have spoken about this moment, the point where inner transformation quietly becomes outer reality. For Capricorn, July 16th sits directly inside that window. You are ruled by discipline, structure, and endurance. You've spent so much of your life building security, building reputation, building a version of yourself that others can rely on. But building takes sacrifice. And Capricorn, you have sacrificed more than most people will ever know. You've stayed strong when you wanted to break down. You've kept moving when you wanted to stop. You've smiled through exhaustion. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that your feelings were something to manage quietly, not something to burden others with. Today that changes. Today the universe is asking you to stop carrying everything alone. Not because you're weak, because you've already proven your strength 1,000 times over. This shift isn't about testing your endurance anymore. It's about releasing it. It's about finally allowing something in your life to become easy, after so long spent making everything hard through sheer will. This is what a true inner awakening feels like. Not fireworks, not lightning bolts. It's quieter than that, a sudden clarity in the middle of an ordinary moment. A breath that feels different, a thought that arrives out of nowhere. I don't have to keep living like this. That thought, Capricorn, is not random. That is your spirit remembering something it always knew but had forgotten under the weight of responsibility. And with clarity comes release. You may find yourself letting go of things you didn't even realize you were still holding. A grudge, a fear, an old version of a dream that no longer fits who you've become. This release isn't loss, it's space. And space is exactly what the universe needs to place something new into your life. Here's something important to understand about how the universe works. It rarely gives you the next chapter while your hands are still full of the last one. It clears first. It closes doors gently. Sometimes so gently you almost don't notice them closing, before it opens the ones that actually belong to you. So if certain relationships have started to feel distant, if certain routines suddenly feel outdated, if certain dreams you once chased no longer excite you the way they used to, this is not you losing direction. This is the universe making room. Making room for the version of you that's about to emerge. Making room for opportunities you haven't even imagined yet. July 16th isn't the day everything happens all at once. It's the day you begin to notice that something already has. 3 to 5 signs the universe is preparing your biggest breakthrough, Capricorn. Before a breakthrough arrives, the universe almost always leaves clues. Quiet ones, easy to miss if you're not paying attention. Let's walk through the 5 signs that suggest you are standing exactly where you need to be, right on the edge of something extraordinary. Sign 1. Unexpected peace after emotional chaos. If the past few weeks have felt heavy, anxious thoughts, restless nights, emotions you couldn't quite untangle, and then suddenly, almost without explanation, a wave of calm settled over you. That peace was not an accident. That is often the first sign that the storm has done its job. Storms clear the air. They wash away what no longer belongs. And the stillness that follows isn't emptiness, it's readiness. Sign 2. Repeated numbers, dreams, or meaningful coincidences. Have you been seeing the same numbers again and again, on clocks, receipts, license plates? Have your dreams felt unusually vivid, almost like messages rather than random images? Have you thought of someone right before they reached out, or stumbled onto exactly the information you needed at exactly the right moment? These synchronicities are the universe's way of saying, you're on the right path. Keep going. They are gentle confirmations, little signposts along a road that can sometimes feel dark and uncertain. Sign 3. Old relationships fading naturally. Notice the people who have quietly drifted from your life lately. Not through conflict, not through dramatic goodbyes, but simply through distance that grew on its own. This is one of the clearest signs of spiritual growth. You are not the same person you were a year ago, or even a few months ago, and some relationships were only ever meant to walk beside the old version of you. Let them go with gratitude, not guilt. Their purpose in your story has been fulfilled. Sign 4. Feeling called toward a completely new direction. Maybe it's a career shift. Maybe it's a creative pursuit you've never allowed yourself to take seriously. Maybe it's simply a desire to live differently. Slower, freer, more aligned with your values. If you felt an unexplainable pull toward something new, something that doesn't quite make logical sense yet, but feels undeniably right, trust it. Capricorn, you are known for practicality, for playing it safe, for calculating every risk before you move. But this feeling isn't asking you to abandon your wisdom. It's asking you to expand it. Sign 5. Sudden confidence returning after weeks of doubt. If you've been quietly questioning yourself, your choices, your worth, your direction, and then, almost overnight, a flicker of self-belief returns. Hold on to that. That confidence isn't coming from nowhere. It's coming from the deepest, most resilient part of you. The part that has carried you through every hard season you've ever faced. It's returning now because you are going to need it for what's coming next. If even 2 or 3 of these signs feel familiar, Capricorn, take that seriously. The universe doesn't waste its whispers. It's been speaking to you. The only question now is whether you're ready to listen. 4. The spiritual test. Before the reward, here is something that almost no one tells you about growth. Right before the biggest blessings arrive, life often becomes strangely quiet. Not chaotic. Not dramatic. Just still. And for someone like you, Capricorn, someone who finds comfort in motion, in productivity, in visible progress, that stillness can feel almost unbearable. You might be tempted to interpret this quiet as a sign that nothing is happening, that you've stalled, that the momentum you felt building has disappeared. But this is where so many people give up right before their breakthrough, because they mistake the pause for the ending, when really, it's the preparation. Think about how a seed grows. Before it ever breaks through the soil, it spends time in complete darkness, in complete silence, doing work that no one can see. If you dug it up too early to check on its progress, you would destroy it. The same is true for you right now. Whatever is forming in your life needs this quiet time to take root properly. This is where patience becomes sacred. Not passive waiting. Active trust. There's a difference between giving up and surrendering. Giving up says, this isn't working, so I'll stop trying. Surrender says, I've done what I can, and now I trust the timing of something greater than my own control. Capricorn, surrender has never come naturally to you. You like to hold the reins, you like to know the plan, but some of life's greatest gifts only arrive once you loosen your grip. Be honest with yourself about where resistance might be showing up. Sometimes it looks like overworking, trying to force an outcome before it's ready. Sometimes it looks like numbing out, distracting yourself so you don't have to sit with uncertainty. Sometimes it looks like fear, disguised as logic. 100 practical reasons not to take the leap your heart is quietly asking you to take. Whatever form your resistance takes, try to meet it with compassion instead of frustration. You're not failing by struggling with this. You're human. And the very fact that you're aware of your resistance means you're already growing beyond it. Every hidden lesson in this quiet season is preparing you to receive what's coming without sabotaging it. The universe isn't punishing you with silence, Capricorn. It's protecting your breakthrough by making sure you're ready to hold it when it finally arrives. 5. Brittle. What Capricorn must do on July 16th. So now the question becomes, what should you actually do with this energy? How do you meet this moment in a way that honors what's unfolding? Here are 5 simple, meaningful steps for today. First, release fear and old expectations. Take a quiet moment and mentally, or even out loud, let go of the version of your future you thought you had to have. Release the timeline you assumed your life would follow. Release the fear that you're somehow behind. The path opening for you may look nothing like what you originally planned, and that's not a failure. That's evolution. Second, write one powerful intention. Not a long list. Just one. Something simple, honest, and deeply true to what your heart actually wants right now. Not what you think you should want. Not what would impress anyone else. Write it down. There is power in putting words on paper. It transforms a wish into a declaration. Third, spend a few quiet moments in gratitude. Before you ask the universe for anything more, thank it for what has already carried you here. Every hard lesson, every quiet strength you've built, every version of yourself you've outgrown. Gratitude isn't just politeness toward the universe. It's an energetic signal that says, I recognize the good that's already present, and that recognition opens the door for more. Fourth, recognize opportunities instead of waiting for certainty. Capricorn, you tend to wait until something is guaranteed before you commit to it. But breakthroughs rarely arrive with guarantees attached. They arrive as quiet nudges, small openings, imperfect timing, Today, practice noticing these openings instead of dismissing them because they don't come with a clear roadmap. Fifth, trust intuition over fear. When a decision comes to you today, even a small one, pause and ask yourself, is this choice coming from fear or from truth? Fear will always sound reasonable. It will always have logical arguments ready. But truth feels different. It feels quieter, steadier, and somehow more like coming home. You don't need to do anything dramatic today, Capricorn. You simply need to be present enough to notice what's already shifting and brave enough to say yes to it. 6. The life-changing shift that's about to begin. As this energy continues to unfold in the coming weeks, you may start to notice movement in areas of your life that have felt stagnant for far too long. In your career, an opportunity may appear that doesn't look like anything you were expecting, but somehow fits you perfectly once it arrives. In love, either an existing relationship may deepen into a new level of honesty, or space may open for a connection that finally feels mutual, reciprocal, and safe. In your finances, small shifts in mindset or opportunity may begin loosening a tightness you've carried for a long time. And in your personal growth, you may simply start to feel more like yourself than you have in years. None of this happens by accident, and none of it happens without your participation. The choices you make today, even the quiet, internal ones, are shaping the months ahead more than you realize. Every time you choose trust over fear, presence over distraction, honesty over performance, you are laying a stone in the path of the future you're building. Capricorn, you have spent so long being the steady one, the responsible one, the one who holds everything together for everyone else. This chapter is asking something different of you. It's asking you to let something hold you for a while. To trust that the structure you no longer have to build entirely by yourself. To believe that ease, joy, and support are not signs of weakness. They are simply signs that it's finally your turn. Whatever has felt uncertain, unfinished, or unclear is beginning to resolve itself, piece by piece, in its own perfect timing. You don't have to force the next chapter into existence. You only have to stay open enough to let it find you. Capricorn, remember, sometimes the universe doesn't change your life overnight. It changes you first, and everything else follows. The quiet moments you've felt lately, the subtle shifts, the unexplainable emotions, they were never random. They were the universe preparing you, gently and patiently, for a version of your life that finally matches the depth of who you truly are. July 16th may be remembered as the moment your soul quietly stepped into a brand new chapter. Not with noise, not with fireworks, but with a calm, unshakable knowing that from here, everything begins to change. If this message resonated with your heart, type, "I am ready," in the comments to welcome this new chapter into your life. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the universe may already be preparing your next sign, and you won't want to miss it.